outrage in Egypt tonight as it was discovered that the Great Pyramid of Giza had been stolen and replaced by a giant inflatable replica. There is panic throughout the globe as countries and citizens try to protect their beloved landmarks. Law enforcement still has no leads, leaving everyone to wonder which of the world's villains is responsible for this heinous crime.
Vector stole the Pyramid of Giza, smuggled it to America, and painted it. If he were charged for these crimes in court, he would face penalties and charges including theft of a cultural artifact, smuggling of stolen property, and vandalism. The maximum jail time for these crimes, assuming the maximum sentence for each crime is served consecutively, would be 23 years in prison and a large fine of $2.5 million.
Piranha gun! Oh yes! Fires live piranhas. Ever seen one before? No, you haven't. I invented it. I'm doing a demonstration. Oh! Ah! Gosh, it's so difficult sometimes to get the brain back inside of me.
Vector's use of the piranha gun could result in fines and jail time for illegal possession of a dangerous weapon. He would face charges for animal cruelty and abuse, which are punishable by fines of $15,000 for his first offense and jail time of 1.5 years. Vector has placed large sharks in the sewer to secure his base. However, this creates a public safety issue as the sharks are now roaming the streets and putting the lives of innocent civilians at risk. If Vector was charged for his actions, he would likely face a charge of negligence. I mean, do I need to say more? This is straight up of a murder attempt.
What? Hey! Hey! What? Hey! Oh!
Here, Vector steals the shrink ray from Gru, which Gru has also stolen it from someone else. But since Vector does not intend to return the stolen property to its rightful owner, as such, it is considered theft. Here, Vector uses his own built aircraft and flies it illegally. He would face charges of reckless endangerment and illegal operation of an aircraft.
First, give me the moon, then we'll talk. Zip it, Happy Meal.
Now, the girls.
Actually, I think I'll hold on to them a little while longer.
In this scene, Vector endangers the safety of a minor, Margot, by forcibly grabbing her and pulling her into his aircraft. This is considered child endangerment.
Time that I get my way, steamrolling whatever I see. I'm having a bad day. If you take it personal, that's okay. Watch, this is so fun to see. Oh, Despicable Me.
In this scene, we see Gru using his freeze ray to freeze other customers in a food queue so he can skip ahead and purchase food without paying. This crime is considered theft. Additionally, the use of the freeze ray is considered illegal, as it is a dangerous weapon and can also be considered battery as it is causing harm to other individuals. It also has the potential to cause death, which could lead to additional charges. If Gru were charged with these crimes, he would face up to 5 years in prison for theft, up to 10 years in prison for the illegal use of a weapon, up to 5 years in prison for battery, and up to life in prison for manslaughter. Gru is seen using a vehicle that he has built himself. The vehicle is not registered and does not have any license plates. Gru is seen driving the vehicle on the streets, breaking traffic laws and endangering the public. If convicted, Gru could face a 3-year prison sentence and a $10,000 fine. Gru uses a freeze ray gun to shoot Vector, which could lead to death. He could face charges of attempted murder, which carries a penalty of probation to life in prison. In the scene where Gru's lair is shown, we see a number of safety violations that would likely result in penalties and charges if Gru were to be charged for his crimes in court. First, we see that Gru's lair is located underground and is accessible only through a secret elevator. This lack of proper exits and emergency lighting would likely result in a violation of building and fire codes. We also see that Gru's lair is filled with dangerous equipment and chemicals, including freeze rays and fart guns. These weapons, along with the lack of proper safety precautions, would likely result in violations of health and safety codes. In addition, Gru's lair has a number of safety violations related to the minions. The minions are shown working in dangerous conditions without proper safety equipment and are often seen handling dangerous chemicals without protective gear. This could result in violations of labor laws in total. If Gru were to be charged for his crimes in court, he would likely face a number of penalties and charges related to building and fire codes, health and safety codes, and labor laws. Gru could face a maximum fine of $250,000, a maximum sentence of 5 years, and the shutdown of Gru's lair.
What did we do? Well, we stole the Times Square Jumbotron! But that's not all. We stole the Statue of Liberty! The small one from Las Vegas. And I won't even mention the Eiffel Tower! Also Vegas.
At this point, it is just clear that this man just does not give a crap about anything.
You have cleared our background check. Dr. Gru.
In this scene, Gru is seen applying to an adoption center to adopt 3 young girls. However, to do so, he lies about his background and presents himself as a loving and responsible parent. This is a crime known as fraud or deception, as he is intentionally providing false information to the adoption center to gain something of value. The penalties for fraud can vary depending on the jurisdiction and the amount of money involved, but they can range from fines to imprisonment. In this case, since Gru is not trying to gain any financial gain, it is likely to be a misdemeanor punishable by a fine of $5,000 and a jail sentence of 5 years.
Do you really think this is an appropriate place for little kids? Because, it's not.
No! Stay away from there, it's fragile! Well, I suppose the plan will work with 2.
Hey, it's dark in here. I poked a hole in my...
In the scene where Gru brings the children to his house, we see a coffin with spikes. Inside this coffin is intended a trap, and it is a clear example of child endangerment. The presence of such a dangerous and deadly object in the house where children are living shows a complete disregard for their safety and well-being. Additionally, Gru showed no remorse when he thought one of the children, Agnes, died, but it was actually juice that was poked, not blood. It is a further indication of his lack of concern for the children's safety and could be used as evidence of child neglect. If Gru were charged with this crime, he could be facing charges of child endangerment, child abuse, and child neglect. These crimes carry serious penalties, including fines and imprisonment. Gru could be facing 7 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. The judge could also issue an order of protection for the children, which would prohibit him from having any contact with them.
But what about the other people who ordered?
In the scene, Gru swerves off course due to Agnes's screaming, showing his carelessness. If charged with reckless driving, he could face fines, license suspension, or jail time. His actions endangered not only himself, but also others on the road. Gru is frustrated with being a caretaker for his adopted children, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, and plans to abandon them in a park. He deliberately walks away in an attempt to leave the children alone and defenseless in the absence of sufficient care or protection. This act of negligence places the children in unsafe and inappropriate conditions and is considered child abandonment. As a result, Gru might be prosecuted for child abandonment and face a 10-year prison sentence and a $10,000 fine if found guilty. Gru uses his fireball blaster to blow up the Funland booth, causing destruction to property and putting an employee's life in danger. Gru could be charged with up to a 5-year jail sentence and a $10,000 fine for property destruction, along with a separate 5-year jail sentence for reckless endangerment. Gru utilizes a stolen shrink ray to shrink one of his minions. This act can be considered mutilation, as it intentionally causes permanent physical harm to the minion's body, affecting its ability to move and carry out daily activities. Since there are no such charges for shrinking someone in real life, as it's not possible, I will charge Gru with the same offense as causing someone to lose mobility in their legs, which would be considered a form of assault resulting in serious bodily injury. Gru launches his custom-built rocket ship into space. He and his minions have committed a serious crime. Launching a rocket ship from a backyard is illegal and poses significant safety risks, violating the regulations governing the operation of rockets and spacecraft, which can result in charges of reckless endangerment and unauthorized operation of a spacecraft. Gru and his minions would face significant financial penalties, in addition to possible jail time for their actions. The penalties for this crime can include a fine of up to $100,000 and imprisonment. However, since no one has ever built a functional rocket ship that flies a human into space in their backyard, the jail time is not conclusive. Gru and his minions steal the moon. They could face charges of theft, grand larceny, and endangering millions. Their theft has a ripple effect, causing disasters and disrupting other celestial orbits, leading to chaos in a world forever changed.